to announce, we are going to talk about healing. So we're going to talk more about healing and other approaches to empowered women and empowered men too. Because I think, from all the conversations we had previously, we'd like to bring you more inspiring stories this time round in our second season. We want to bring to you women and men too, who have been empowered in one way or the other. So without taking too much of your time, let's get on with this show. Selvi, could you please tell me briefly where Sri Lanka is at now with healing and the necessity for healing? Thank you. Selvi, you're muted.
Thank you, Carol, and welcome, Anna. Well, if you are looking at Sri Lanka today, one comment I can make is that the number of people who come into my daughter's clinic, almost 50 to 60% of them have had at some time of their life had surgeries. So surgeries is a big thing in Sri Lanka. It probably has links with the private medicine that has flourished over in this country over the last couple of tens of years. But my idea of healing is actually not coming from outside. I actually endorse the view that a healer is someone who triggers your own ability to heal yourself. The healing that happens in our body is always within us, and we always fail to recognize it. And that's why we go to surgeries. That's why we go to the hospitals. That's why we buy these drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, and consume them. And we are being told that the drug-induced deaths in the world is actually as big as 5 jumbo jets crashing every year. And this is not illness. This is simply drug-induced deaths. So we are looking at alternative healing, healing through wisdom. Wisdom healing should be our priority nowadays. And who best can do it but women? Because women have always been healers, nurturers, and they know what healing is from the time they become mothers. So empowered women for healing. That's what we want to do here.
Thank you, Selvi. That reminded me when you said mothers, and women in healing, because I have 2 sons, as you know, and one of them is a doctor, and they think that I think I'm still a doctor because I prescribe all kinds of herbal drinks, etc. for them. And they say, Mom, you're not a doctor. So I said, listen, 99% of the time when you were sick as a child, I treated you. I didn't take you to a doctor. And the result of it is that I didn't kill you. So I must be a good doctor. And I think women can understand this angle because we treat our kids, right, with whatever home remedies or whatever our parents and grandparents have taught us. So on that lighter note, Fuzzy, want to say something about healing?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about a favorite topic of mine, which is, why you need healing is because you are unwell, right? So one of the biggest problems in Sri Lanka is the non-communicable diseases. Our statistics are staggering, right? NCDs amount to over 75% of the total deaths in Sri Lanka. That is 3 out of 4 deaths is due to either diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, or hypertension, or something like that. And it causes almost, that means 3/4 of the deaths. So as a result of this, 1 out of 5 people die in Sri Lanka prematurely because of an uncommunicable disease. So this comes to a lot of the lifestyle, right? You know, how we eat, how exercises, and do we blend in any of these methodologies into our lifestyles? There are many healing methods, and even being a Buddhist country, right? For me, meditation has helped a lot. And, you know, I don't know if our people are having the right way of life when they live, taking things easy in moderation. Those are key philosophies. And obviously, non-communicable diseases are because of everything done in excess, and which is need and not done what is needed, like exercising and, you know, some form of mental peace and meditation, because mental stress also can cause deaths, strokes, and so on. So so that's what I feel, Carol. So even for prevention of that, this form of any form of healing is going to help, because this is really staggering. I mean, 75% of all deaths, which could have been, in my opinion, avoided. I mean, this is my
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Thanks, Fuzzy. You know, the thing is, I think quite often we reach out for medicines. And in Sri Lanka, Anna, you may not know, but, you know, it's quite easy to access medicines. There are regulations, of course, but yet I think antibiotics are meted out very, very easily, very quickly. And so we don't put enough emphasis on self-healing and other methods of healing. I'm always open to different kinds. I think there's something to every story, right? So everything in moderation, as Fazana said. Another thing is, Fazana, we haven't talked about the mental healing, you know, the health, mental health of people, especially in happening to some, and some who are self-motivated do other things and others don't. So we'll visit all these areas if that's possible with the limited time we have. Without taking up too much time, I'd like to go to Soraya. Soraya, please give us an introduction to Anna and who she is and what she does. And then we will see a little video clip and then move on to Anna.
Right. Thank you, Selvi. I think I need some intervention today. I have a bad sore throat. I hope you can all hear me. Something profound that we always discuss in this show is that we have to take personal responsibility. It's not about waiting for the government or your neighbor. And I think the last time I was in Sri Lanka, what astounded me was the signs to visit the doctor. Do you want a blood test? Do you have diabetes? Do you have the high blood pressure? The messaging is so intense, and people have to be so careful, because what we have to remember is it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. So we have to take ownership for our health. And on that note, it is an incredible joy and pleasure for me to introduce my friend and colleague, Anna York. I've known her for some time, and she's been a tremendous healer, and I didn't know her story. When I had posted on my Facebook page, there were so many people who said, Anna, she's one of the best instructors on Qigong. So it is a great pleasure for me to introduce her. So at age 19, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Later, with 4 children, she spent 6 weeks in a nursing home, paralyzed from the neck down. Spending over a decade in a wheelchair and electric scooter, her 2 sons introduced her to Tai Chi and Qigong. In 1995, she began a powerful healing journey that took her around the world and deep into China. And I think you spent the next 25 years studying and teaching Qigong, specializing with the disabled. So with no medications, at an energetic 75, Anna pursues life with perfect health and zest. So I want to begin by showing a small video clip of what Anna does, and then we can go from there, and I will introduce her to speak.
There are some times in life when we have an opportunity to make a decision for change. That's the time when we need to let go of our old limitations and, with a little help from our friends, step out into a dimension of new possibilities and faith that we can feel better and live better. We need to let our spirits soar, knowing we can do something for ourselves that will make a difference, something that is fresh, clean, and natural, that energizes us from the inside out. My name is Anna York, and that's what I'm doing here at beautiful Torrey Pines Glider Port in Southern California, where I invite you to learn Tai Chi Qigong warm-up movements in a natural setting of land, sea, and sky that will inspire you to get moving, feel better, and enjoy your life. If you feel achy in your joints and muscles, feel a little stiff in the morning so it's hard to get going, or if you have some arthritis, aches, and pains, this is a great DVD for you. These warm-up exercises will help you increase your flexibility and range of motion so you can improve your balance, walk better, and, so very important, avoid falls. Breathing and gentle stretching will rejuvenate your heart, lungs, and fascial tissues so you have internal strength to face your daily challenges. Seated and standing demonstrations make the exercises accessible for all abilities. I will show you how shaking it up a little can energize your whole body and get you ready for your day. I am a certified Qigong instructor, and I have designed the format for these exercises that have helped me rebuild my own strength and walking skills after being severely disabled by multiple sclerosis. Now I'm sharing ways you can heal yourself and rejuvenate your life. I specialize in working with seniors, those with Parkinson's, arthritis, stroke, multiple sclerosis, and a variety of other conditions. But these warm-ups are great for everyone. This warm-up DVD is the third in my new creation Tai Chi Qigong DVD series. Volume 1 is for all abilities, and Volume 2 is for walking, balance, and strength. Look for all these great DVDs on Amazon. You can also read about my remarkable recovery in my book entitled Rising Up, also on Amazon. If you would like to learn skills that will go with you throughout your life, come away with me now and embark on a new adventure of health and well-being with new creation Tai Chi Qigong muscle, joint, and hand warm-ups.
Anna, over to you. Tell us, was that you in that, what do you call that? And how old were you? Please introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, what you do, and your journey. And then we will get into a question and a answer discussion after you give us a brief overview. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Soraya. And yes, that was me in the paraglider. And it was one of the most fabulous experiences of my life, I have to say. It was kind of like, you know, just total freedom. And it was extremely scary to start with that, but my family was there and they encouraged me. So the things that we can do when we have support and when we have people who love us around us and when we have the courage to be like these women right here who are stepping out to do something for their nation and for their world, because I have friends from the United States who are on this show as well. So I am delighted to be with you, and I just invite all of us to see ourselves as women reaching our arms around the world to join our hands and join our hearts. As women, we share our beauty, our joys, our creativity, our power, and we share our struggles to know who we are and how to become all we can be. Today, I'm going to share my journey as a woman and the health challenges and the severe disabilities I've experienced. These two my health challenges, and my femininity are intricately linked. And I will share how I discovered the path to healing through universal divine love and by cultivating the divine energy that we all share as human beings. Energy is at the heart of what I will talk about. Something that is called by different names in many languages. Chi in China, Ki in Japan, Prana in Sanskrit, Energeist in Greek, Ruach in Hebrew, and on and on. I suggest that a possible way to talk about it in Arabic could be through the divine name Ahai, one of the 99 beautiful names of Allah, the name for life, the life that is in all things in the universe, because all energy comes from the divine source by whatever name we're going to call it. For me, this name is wonderful for talking about Chi because it surrounds the entire experience with divine love. I was born into a loving Christian family and also into a church that was dominated by patriarchy, in which women had no role to play in public prayer, music, teaching, preaching, counseling, or administration. From my earliest memories, I loved God with all my heart, but I found little means for expression for it because women were prevented from religious vocations. I went to a religious college to prepare to be a teacher, but my strongest desires to serve God were thwarted. When I was 19, the emotional frustration and dissonance inside of me contributed to a neurological explosion that literally felt like a lightning strike. I was hospitalized and then left school for several months, not knowing what had happened to me. My energy, my chi, my God-given high took a terrific hit. It was not until some years later that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, an immune system disease that damages the nervous system. I finished college, got married, taught school for a few years, and began having a family, and that was a joyous experience for me. During that time, I researched and wrote a 250-page paper on male and female in the divine image, and that set my glorious expectations for what a woman can be. I learned that part of my glory as a woman created in God's image includes childbearing, but my body was weak. My third son was born by C-section with a placental abruption, causing me enormous physical and emotional distress. Part of my struggle was how to love my husband without taking toxic birth control pills, and how to deal with my fertility without killing the life inside of me. There was a huge existential torque twisting inside of me. I was also overwhelmed with the exhausting work of being a mother to 4 young boys and wife to my husband. The icing on the cake was that I was deeply disappointed that I was not living up to what I believed was the divine capacity God gave me as a woman. I felt God expected more of me. I failed God, I failed myself, and my energy, my high, was frazzled and confused. I had 4 children in 5 years, 3 from C-section. My 5th child, my only little girl, was born early from placenta previa and died. With her death, it seemed that part of my essential self died as well. Not long after that, I had another lightning strike that literally threw me on the floor and then landed me in a hospital and a nursing home for several weeks, largely paralyzed from the neck down. Now my energy was disastrously dysfunctional. At one point, I was so seriously deteriorating that my pastor came to help prepare me to die. As you can see, I did not die. Everything turned around for me on my 50th birthday. It was my children who saved me. My oldest and youngest sons took me to Qigong classes, even though those Eastern arts were completely foreign and scary for a fundamentalist Christian like me. I also stepped outside of Western medicine, which had no healing answers for me. And that was probably even worse than going against my religion. Culturally and spiritually, it was like stepping off a cliff. But the amazing thing was that at Tai Chi and Qigong class, I learned how to restore my energy. I learned to practice Qi. Qi means energy. Tai Chi means universal energy. Qigong means practice of energy. And that means discipline, commitment, intentionality, consistency, focus, faithfulness. And that changed my life. Because here's what happens. Life comes at us. Life has its joys, but life also has its struggles. Life disappoints us, breaks us down, confuses us, overwhelms us. It's called stress. And stress is at the root of all disease and dis-ease. Stress puts us in a fight or flight mode, sending out adrenaline that puts us into a constant hyper physiological state, promoting production of destructive hormone cortisol, constricting our muscles, making us tired, decreasing our respiratory function, inhibiting our heart function, reducing our ability to think clearly, clouding our decision-making, and lowering our immune systems. And each of those stress experiences and the stressful emotions that accompany them take down our life force. In other words, in the terminology of Chinese medicine, they block the flow of our qi. In Chinese medicine and in Qigong, the source of all diseases is the same, blocked qi, most of which comes from stress. That includes everything from heart and respiratory problems to arthritis, to cancer, multiple sclerosis, and a multitude of other diseases. The cause of all of these is blocked qi. And the cure for the same diseases is to get the qi flowing. So beginning in 1995, I spent the next 25 years of my life getting the qi flowing again. Within 6 months, I was hiking slowly up a mountain I thought I would never see again in my life. Within 3 years, I had stopped taking all drugs for MS, and I have had none since that time. That was 23 years ago. I resumed a much more normal life as my energy grew stronger and stronger. Eventually, I advanced enough that I was certified to teach Qigong. And that video there, which will be posted in your chat, gave me the power to heal myself and heal others. And I find wisdom healing Qigong to be the most healing of all the Qigong forms I've practiced. And that's why I'm passing that along to you, because of my own experience in my life. And because I had that experience of disability, I've specialized in working with those who are disabled. At the first of this year, at age 75, I retired. I have 6 grandchildren who I enjoy immensely. I live an energetic, fulfilling life. I cannot express my joy and gratitude that I received the divine gift of bringing energy and life back into my body, my emotions, my human relationships, and into my heart's fullest joy in divine love. Thank you so much for letting me be with you here today.
Anna York, you're truly inspirational. And I have to say, you're an empowered woman. You empowered yourself to heal yourself. And that's really a fascinating story. I'm going to reach out to the panel here to ask a few questions of you. Soraya, would you like to start? I know your throat is not too good, but maybe a short question.
Yes, I would love to. I mean, this is profound information. At 50, you began to live. A lot of people die at 50. They're alive, but they're dead within, you know. They have years to their life, but no life to their years. So thank you for that inspiring message. But here's, in our conversations, Anna, you told me you spend over 4 hours a day practicing this art. And this is what I'm thinking, that millions of Chinese endorse this, millions of people everywhere else endorse Qigong. But there's a catch, and that catch is exactly what you have caught. That is to say, if you don't practice, it doesn't work. So tell me, how do you stay committed and dedicated to a practice such as Qigong? And what can you tell us, our listeners, who are very busy, not that you are not, but making that time?
Okay, well, first of all, I have to tell you that the more serious problem we have, the higher the motivation we're going to have to address that effectively. And so when we find something that is effective, then it's much easier to focus our attention and our energy in that direction, because we feel like it's actually doing something to help us. And when I started, as I said, within 6 months, I was climbing a mountain again, slowly. But it was something I never thought I would do again in my life. I never thought I would play with my grandchildren or be able to hold them on my lap. And now I do that all the time. There is a powerful motivation. Even if it's as much as I need more energy in my life, or I have this pain in my body, or something is really distressing my emotions. The effectiveness of the practice will continue to motivate us, because we feel that dynamic energy inside of us. And as long as we practice, it keeps getting better and better. I'm 75. At 45, I thought perhaps I was going to die. So it's a lifelong practice that empowers us and keeps us motivated. And you asked about the amount of time. How much do you want to heal? And, some people practice a half hour, some people practice an hour. When I was certifying, I practiced 4 hours a day. And then I spent additional time in meditation and study. So it depends on you and what you want to achieve. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Thank you, Anna. I think, halfway to solving a problem is recognizing you have an issue and then reaching out and being motivated to look for the answers. And I think you did that very well. And I think your sons recognized it too. And for that, we should be thankful, right? You're here to tell the story. Fuzzy, can you talk to Anna and ask her some questions maybe?
Yeah, I think part of my question was answered in Anna's presentation, but maybe a bit more clarity, but I just am curious to know what really happens to your body when you use this kind of energy healing, and how do you also know when it's happening? Like, how does it work basically? How does it tell you or your mind that it's working, where you know that it's getting cured? What is the signal?
That is,
and what happens to your body? Yeah.
That is an excellent question. I can tell you that part of my body was dead. And I think for a lot of us, there is a sense in which we are just not working the way that we need to work. Maybe it's our hearts, maybe it's our emotions, it could be many different things, but we're just not working the way that we know that we should. In my case, parts of my body were just simply dead. There was paralysis largely on this side here, and a lack of feeling, because all of this stress sort of, it kind of hardens us up inside. It keeps our hearts and our lungs. We don't breathe well when we're in stress. We don't feel like we're able to move because we're all locked up. And so the sign of being sick is that we don't feel well, we don't function well. The sign of getting better is that our bodies start to open up. We begin to breathe better. Our circulatory system gets better. The digestive system gets better. We begin to move our bodies and we begin to move our chi, and there's a joy that bubbles up. And we can begin to actually feel that tingling sensation of life inside of us. And it's way better than taking drugs. It's delight, it's joy. It's like, I am coming to life. And whatever that means for any individual person, that is priceless. That is absolutely incredible.
Thank you, Anna. I think Fazana, she tried to answer part of your question there. I think one of the things that, how do you know you're healing, I think was probably the other part of it, right? I think when you make these, sorry, yeah.
No, I think it requires a certain amount of consciousness, right, Anna? If you're just nice and dead, you're not going to feel when your body speaks to you. So should we first develop that? How are you, my hand? How are you, my leg? Should we have the conversation with our bodies, or how do you develop that consciousness to recognize you're a different person? That was
I think Anna had already answered that. As far as I saw it, she was saying that the joy was bubbling within her.
Yeah, that's
when
what it was. Exactly.
Within you are healed.
That's exactly what I was trying to get through. Yeah.
Lack of disease is health. No, lack of disease is not health. That's what the doctors say. But what is health is when the joy is bubbling within you, when you're able to feel life within you, you're healthy, you've healed. I think that's what I understand from what Anna was saying. Is that right, Anna?
Anna?
Yeah, thank you, Selvi. That was beautiful. And I don't think any one of us is ever going to be perfect. I still have a disability, but I have joy. I have vitality. I love life. I love my relationships. I have found peace with myself as a woman made by God. And ultimately, as human beings, we're constantly having these things come at us in our lives. Are we able to handle those things with equanimity, with peace, with a calmness, with assurance, with hope that we can do whatever we need to do, no matter how stressful the circumstances are around us, no matter how difficult it is? We find inside of ourselves this reservoir of wisdom, which you have so beautifully identified as being the key here in this show that you do. That we have that inner wisdom to take hold of the life we have and do the best we can with it, even if we've still got some issues going on.
Right. Thank you, Anna. Before we go to, I know Sylvie has some profound questions for you, but I just wanted to ask you something quickly. People are afraid of the unknown, and some people are afraid to venture out. And, I think sometimes they also get confused with practicing some of these old, healing methods, whether we are pushing the boundaries on religion or spirituality. So as I see it, they are apart in some ways, and the spirituality is there when you start breathing and looking inward, etc. So what would you say to those who are a bit nervous, thinking they're stepping out of their religious boundaries? And each one of us has our own faith. But I look at it as more healing from within. So maybe there's something religious and spiritual about that whole aspect. Anna?
Thank you. This has been a very important issue to me, because my spiritual life is at the core of who I am. And so I struggled with doing something that was from a different culture, doing something that I was not familiar with. And especially kind of like even more possibly stepping out of the paradigm of Western medicine. But this framework that we have, this joy that we have in our spiritual life, I found that it was much bigger than I ever thought it was. It was not the small framework that I knew as a child or even as adult. It encompasses all human beings, all life. It is the goodness of each and every human being, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from. Healing is divine. In Muslim language, the name Rauf, and pardon me if I don't say it as well as I should, but that is the healing name. It is a part of all of us. It is God's gift to every human being. And wherever we find that, we can joyously receive it as a gift from God. And as we experience the joy of healing, we know that is true. We absolutely know that is true, and we're thankful. So
Thank you, Anna. I'm going to move on to Selvi because I know she's raring to go with her question. Selvi, over to you.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for all what you've said so far. It's so inspiring. Now, you also said that you stopped Western medicine 23 years ago. Well, I mean, why did you stop taking them? And do you think your healing has happened because you stopped it, or is it because you went in a different direction with energy healing? Or what is the role that these pharmaceutical drugs, Western medicines play or should play in our lives?
Great question, because it's scary to not take the Western medicine. And I have not stopped all Western medicine. uh, I have taken no drugs for multiple sclerosis since 1998. And I do have regular checkups. I have mammograms. If I have a terrible virus, I go to the doctor and I get treated. So it's that those kinds of things come up. But the fact is that there's way less of that in my life because I'm so healthy. And so I want to make this clear. Most of the people I know who have had really serious illnesses, such as cancer, and have recovered from them, have not abandoned the medications that they are on. Here's what happens. And this happened to me as well. I was taking those medications, and as I practiced, the energy became far more powerful than the medications did. So I was doing it side by side, and then actually the medication started making me feel bad because my body didn't need it anymore. And that is true of people who are doing, radiation therapy or whatever medicine that they are taking for cancer or for other illnesses. Practicing the energy brings up something so much more powerful inside of us that gradually I just can't deal. I stopped taking the medication because it didn't feel good. And then I was like, my doctor said, if you do this, you're going to go back to multiple sclerosis. And it was so unpleasant to take the medication that I said, I'm going to try it. And I got better. And so people, you don't have to step off the cliff to practice Qigong. That's what I'm saying. You can continue with those support systems that you feel are essential for you or your husband feels, because my husband was like, no way that Tai Chi stuff is going to work. He's an astrophysicist. E for him, and this energy does not equal E equals MC squared. It's something else. So we are able to be embraced by the support that we need and still feel confident that we're going to go through with that practice of energy, and it is going to heal us. And so we don't have to feel like we're stepping off the cliff. That was a great question, Selvi.
Anna, Carol, to the busy people, I just want to show another small clip of Anna. So if you give me a minute.
And mobility. Pull the neck down the front, down the chest, keeping the torso straight, and then in a big circle out to the Hello, my name's Anna York, and I want to welcome you to New Creation Videos. So right now we're going to do a movement called the crane's neck. And this is a movement that is wonderful for relaxing the neck, for getting the energy flowing between the brain and through the neck down to the rest of the body. It's great for improving posture, and it's also wonderful for helping to relieve pain from some of the postural habits that we've developed over a long period of time. One of those is what I call Neanderthal neck. It looks kind of like this. It's what we do when we're sitting at our computers. We push the head forward so that the neck is at an angle to the shoulders. That can create a lot of pain, and that posture can ultimately result in a reduced ability to turn the neck from side to side. So let's get started. First, I will demonstrate the posture from the side so that you can follow easily. It's very important to remember that you need to do this according to your own ability. Don't try to push your neck back too far to start with, because you don't want to close off the energy right back here. You just want to do it gently, and over a period of time, extend the neck and get the movement going. Okay? So we begin by putting the hands on the waist, just above the waist, and we're going to draw the crown of the head up and draw the chin in toward the back and roll the head toward the back while you extend the neck, keeping the mouth closed. Extend the chin far out in the front, keeping the torso upright. Draw the chin into the chest. Draw the chin up. Keep rolling the chin up and extending the neck, making it very long. And extend outward in a big circle with the chin, keeping the torso upright. Draw the chin in, scroll up, and roll up and extend the neck far up, making the neck very long, and then one more big circle with the chin out to the front. And now make the neck straight. Now we will reverse. So we draw the chin in and scroll the neck down the front, down the chest, keeping the torso straight, and then in a big circle out to the front according to your ability. And up, extending the neck, making it long according to your ability. Draw the chin in. Scroll the chin down the chest, keeping the torso straight, moving the chin around in a big circle. Extending up and drawing the chin in, scrolling the chin down, extending forward in a big circle, and draw the chin in and make the neck straight. And there you have the crane's movement. Just do this once a day or so and gradually loosen up your neck and your shoulders, and soon you should have a lot more energy and mobility.
Thank you,
that
Anna. That was a good bit of practice for everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody's tuned into their WhatsApp and to their computers. And so that's a brilliant, brilliant start. Unfortunately, as always, you know, we come towards the end of the show. Do you want to say some last final words of wisdom to share with the others your empowerment in this whole thing, how you have been empowered? Just a quick one, if you don't mind.
And also, Sir Carol and Canna, please give a little reference to that video we saw. Can we incorporate that in our daily lives, thrice a day, twice a day? Just tell us what it will do to us, and then, of course, answer. I
We
invite you to
will
answer
post
questions.
these also. If Anna can share it with us after the fact, we'll post it on our Wisdom Wednesdays Facebook page as well, Anna. So
Yeah, she has already shared. Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. That one exercise right there is a basic one for loosening up the entire spine and stimulating the brain action, releasing the shoulders. And you should do this maybe once a day. Be sure not to go back too far. Do it according to your own ability. And as you do it more, it will loosen up. I would really like to refer you to chicenter.com, which has a very large number of free videos, and especially those that are led by the people who are in the group on Wednesday, in the morning practices. You will get so much that is free there that you can really rely on to be helpful for you, including sound healing. So I highly recommend that. And if I could say something that is on my heart, it is such a special occasion for me to be here to share with you. Women sharing with women is so powerful. And no matter where we are, no matter what our circumstances are, we share these essential needs that we have. And so as we move toward finishing up, find that capacity in you that is God-given for discovering your energy. And I put those, I've asked Soraya to put those links on the chat box for my video where you saw me flying. That has, your body will feel so good if you do that. And it's free. It's free. It's sold internationally for years, and but it's now free. And so also Master Ming Tong. So I love you so much. God bless you, and we share our hearts.
thank you. Thank you, Anna York. Thank you very much. You're an inspiration to all of us. And most importantly, you have empowered yourself to heal yourself. And I think that's our message here on Wisdom Wednesdays. We women started, to share our wisdom with other women, but we also found, interesting enough, we have a following of the men. And for that, I'm grateful, because that means they too are very open to hearing words of wisdom. And they don't mind that wisdom coming from a bunch of women. So thank you so much to you. And thank you to Soraya for actually introducing you to us. To all of you listening to us out there, we continue to bring you these healing moments in our ongoing Wisdom Wednesdays programs, because we want to bring to you empowered women and men with their messages of how they got there, because that will empower you, that will actually inspire you to become empowered yourself. On that, thank you very much for joining us. Keep tuning into our Wisdom Wednesday show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going anywhere. We will continue this program, because this is a movement. And this is a movement that's actually now, we have the Americans joining us. We have people from Austria. We have people from all over who join us, Canada, everywhere. So this is actually a little bit of a worldwide movement. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless you all, and practice whatever it does to help you heal and continue during this hard time. Bye, everyone.